Hey guys, this is actually take two. It's terrible, but I just recorded a whole piece of audio voiceover, and for some reason my stupid iPhone, or I forgot to push the record button. So it's always hard to do this second time in a row, but I'll try to do it as best as I can. Anyway, what you're looking at is our pussycat Luna. What's on her head is the result of scratching that got out of hand, scratching that we still have not determined the cause for. So everything in our home is rearranged. That's the treehouse. She's not allowed to get on there anymore because she's wearing a neck cone, a recovery cone around the neck, as you can see. So that's where we're at. That's where we ended at this point. Luna had to get one of these because she couldn't stop herself from scratching. It almost looked to us as if she was obsessed or something, but that's of course not the case. I mean, there is pets like humans will never harm themselves if it's not necessary. So this is something that's out of her control, something that she cannot help. So yeah, that's where we are right now, guys. And this video that we're sharing right now is just to give you a little bit of an update about Luna, but most important is to give you a fine solution that we have discovered in this process that we went through with Luna, her rash, her skin allergy. It's actually something that started a while ago when we took her to the vet for an allergic reaction that she had on her eye. We didn't know what it was about, so we took her to the vet, and of course the first thing they wanted to do is draw some blood. That spot where they draw the blood, the needle, they had to shave a little bit there, and that spot eventually became a huge spot, and it started to itch, and Luna started to scratch it and scratch it, and it became bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it reached a point where it looked really, really scary. We have a video about this, and it was a very, very difficult spot just under her chin. Very difficult, to treat with cones or socks or everything. But eventually, we managed. We managed. If you want to know what we did to help her, beat that, recover from that, I will put the video at the end of this video, the outro. So if your cat cannot stop scratching herself somewhere in the neck or under the chin, we found something for that we will put at the end of the video, something that we call the Sarc Method. So now she has something else. Now we're a month or two. She recovered from that about a month or two ago, but now she has something else, and it's a spot right above her right eye. All of a sudden it just appeared, and it's there, and she again, the whole process starts all over again. She's scratching it, she cannot stop. It's getting bigger. It bleeds sometimes, and it's just, and it worries us so much to look at it and not be able to do anything. Because one thing that we've discovered with pets, I guess, like the old saying goes, you never know someone until you've spent time with them. Same thing goes for your pet. You never know what your pet have to deal with unless you've spent time with your cat, unless you're a pet owner. So we discovered that when a cat has a rash, it is almost very, very hard to treat. Mainly because the cats keep scratching themselves, and it's very hard to keep them from scratching themselves. So what you're looking at right now, because the video determines my speed, so I'm sorry if I'm jumping from one thing to another. What you're looking at right now is one of the solutions that me and Mike came up with. You have to be very creative. When your pets have itch, you will discover that you will have to be very creative, because the vet will not be able to help you always. So what we did here is, we thought the Sarc method helped us a great deal with the other rash that she had right under her chin. We just cut the sock open, we made some sort of a tunnel with the sock, then we pulled it over her head, and we made some sort of a collar out of the sock that covered the whole neck area. So she wasn't able to scratch herself. She wasn't able to keep scratching the wound. And eventually it healed, and we were so thankful to God that it did. So we got over that. But now, 2 months later, we have this spot that I'm showing you right now. Again, we have no idea how that came into being. We just saw that Luna started scratching. She couldn't stop. We kept an eye on her. and then eventually we just we kept seeing that spot getting worse and worse, to a point where it started to bleed. It had a scar. It had a how do you say that? I don't know the English word for it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it was really worrying to look at. We called the vet, and the vet could not give us an appointment a short time. So we had to wait a week before we could see the vet. But in the meantime, we had to do something. We tried many things, as you will see later on in the video. We tried putting socks on her paws. We tried wrapping a little bit of gauze around the paw. Nothing helped. So we tried to do something with the sock, what you're looking at right now. We decided to make a hat. And we went through a lot of socks before we got to what we considered an okay hat that fits okay around the head. But Luna is a beautiful pussycat. She eats healthy always. She has a beautiful coat. And it's so beautiful that it's so soft that anything you try to put on her body just slides right off. Same thing goes for this hat that we made. I'm sorry. We were so happy that we finally came up with a hat that fits perfectly around the head. But then that joy did not last forever, because all Luna had to do is scratch her head, use her paw, because they're very flexible, use her paw to kind of push the head upright, and then it came right off her head. And we tried to put it back again, and she did it again, and one time it just kept hanging from one ear. So the hat thing won't do you any good. We read some stuff online. People are trying to make a hat for their cat and then try to tie it around their neck with a string. That is something we're really against, and we even discussed this with the vet, and she was completely supporting the way we saw it. It's very, very dangerous to leave your cat with a string around the neck, because what cats end up doing usually, they keep struggling and fighting to get off whatever you put on their body. And when you give them a string around the neck, sometimes they can end up strangling themselves in the process of struggling and fighting and wanting to get it off, and they will end up in all kind of positions, and that's not something we would advise. We're absolutely against that. So just use anything that will fit around the body. You can also try if the itch is on another place of the body, you can try to get them one of these recovery suits. But sometimes the itch is on a spot where the recovery suit for cats won't reach. It won't do you any good. And that's when you have to be very, very creative. So we tried many stuff. Like I said, we tried the little socks. Mike got Luna special socks for cats, tiny cute socks. She just shook them right off her paw. Didn't do any good. We tried the gauze, wrapping the gauze around the paw. It started to hang loose and became dirty, because they have to go to the litter box and back, and it's just a whole mess. Plus, it didn't do any good because you cannot have it wrapped around the paw perfectly all the time, because they want to shake it off, and so it becomes a whole mess. Plus, I once made the mistake where I tightened the gauze around the paw a little bit too much, and a couple of hours later we ended up with Luna having this big of a paw, because I did something to the blood circulation. So we were shocked to death. We called the vet and so don't do that. Don't tighten anything around the paw just because you want it to stick and you want it to stay on the paw. You're gonna end up being frustrated, not knowing what to do, and tighten it up too much. Don't do that, because cats' paw are really sensitive, so you can end up killing them. I mean, if you're not aware that you did something to the blood circulation, you can end up killing them. So don't do that. So that's not an option either. So what is? We didn't know. At some point we didn't know, so we had to go with the recovery cone that the pet gave us. But that recovery cone came with a set of problems of its own, like what I'm showing you right now. This is Luna's feeding place on the cupboard. Not something that we did to make it fun, but it's necessary because Miko keeps stealing her food. So we had to come up with ways to separate Luna's feeding place completely from Miko's feeding place. So Miko's feeding place is in the kitchen, but Luna's feeding place is up this cupboard. And it's not something that Miko can reach, because first she has to go through this divider, and we put one of these chip operated divider up there with a little door, so only Luna can go through there. So imagine Luna, this little pussycat, with that big recovery cone around her neck, trying to fit through the hatch. It will never go. She can go to her feeding place. She can go inside her treehouse. She cannot climb the treehouse. She cannot sit on the heater, something that she loves to do. She cannot walk between the chairs at the dining table in the kitchen, something she likes to do when she feels threatened for any reason. She cannot sit on under the table on one of these chairs, again, when she feels threatened, something she loves to do that gives her comfort ever since she was a kitten. So the recovery cone is okay, but it comes with a set of its own problems that create a whole different kind of stress that the vet don't tell you about. Is it effective? It is effective, but it really makes the life of your cat miserable. Anytime, and here I'm back at the vet, because the vet was so busy, we couldn't see her right away. So she said, come Friday, pick up the cone, put it around Luna's head, and then I would see her Tuesday, I think. So this was a couple of days later. And meanwhile, we were monitoring how Luna was doing and how she was handling the cone, and I can tell you, she was not happy. She looked so sad, it was heartbreaking. So the first thing the vet will tell you when you take your cat to your vet with an itch, first thing they tell you is change her diet. Cause number one of allergies is food, the protein in the food. So they will give you special food, and they tell you to stay on it for 6 weeks, to put your cat on that diet for 6 weeks. Dry food, but they also have wet food. For example, our Luna is toothless. It's a whole process that we shared here with you, whole history. So, but don't worry about that. If you have a cat that's toothless, you can also get the wet food. So that's the first thing they will advise you to do. Put your cat on this strict diet. Don't give her anything else except that food for 6 weeks. It's food that's specially made to fight allergies. That's what we're doing right now. I don't know what I'm showing right here. I guess I'm telling you about the heater, and I'm telling you about the cupboard that Luna can't reach. It limits your cat. The recovery cone limits your cat in an extreme way. It almost paralyzes them. They don't know what to do. They feel trapped with that thing. They feel like, and the first time that we put the cone around Luna's head, she started to act weird with her neck. She started to look upright the whole time, look up, and it looked so sad because she didn't know what to do. She had to adjust. You cannot just put a cone around their neck and expect them, to act normally. And so it makes sense afterwards, for me at least. I was like, what's going on? But she just had to adjust because their sight is, of course, it's a huge impact by that cone. So your peripheral vision, of course, they don't have anymore. So they need to adjust to that, and that frightens them. That almost paralyzes them. She ended up bumping against one wall, the other, and then against the chair. She ended up bumping against anything and everything she would walk by. So it's really terrible. She couldn't do her thing. She couldn't continue the life as it was for her. She couldn't go easily to the litter box. She couldn't hide in her places. She couldn't go up the cupboard. She couldn't climb anywhere. She didn't want it to play. She would just sit in Mike's lap and just look at us. And I mean, look at us, really look at us. And you start feeling guilty, like, I'm sorry. Sorry that we did this to you, but there is no other way. So, and of course, if you have other cats, they get the impact is also on them because they don't know what's going on. They cannot lay against each other as they would. See here, it took them a while. What you see here, Miko and Luna, cozy in that little basket, but that took them a while because Miko was bothered by the plastic that's sticking against, that's pushing against his little body. It's not the most comfortable feeling, I would imagine. So that took them a while to find a way around that. First, he started sniffing it, licking it, biting it, didn't know what to do with it. Still, here in this video, you can still see that he still hasn't figured it out. So it confuses the other cat also, not only the cat that you've put it around. So I would say, if you don't have any other alternative, then a recovery cone is fine, but please, please, anything that you can find that might work is better than this. So what I'm showing you right now is like the traditional cone. Did I just say pine cone? Like the traditional cone is solid plastic. It's really hard, not flexible. That only makes the moving around the house even difficult. So me and Mike came up with the idea to try and see if we could find cones that are made of softer fabric that will give sometimes. But Oriental cats are really petite, so sometimes even the smallest size of cones or recovery collars or whatever you can find will be still too big for them, and it makes things only worse. So we didn't end up using those, so we had to keep looking for other options. Then while googling and looking up, I guess it was Mike that came up with the idea that maybe we should get them cat socks. That's what you see right here, cat socks. And we thought, you know what, they look tight and small. I'm sure those will fit around the paw and they will stay on the paw. It took us a while to put them around her little paws. Once we were done, she just shook her paw and they flew right off. It was actually too funny, but at the same time too sad, because that was another option down the drain. Then came the nail caps. God's solution. Perfect. The nail caps that I'm showing you right now. Look, when you buy nail caps, cat nail caps, they provide you with glue and one of these little funnels so that you can get to the most further corner of the nail cap, where you can put the glue and eventually have the cap slide it over the nails and just hold it tight for a couple of seconds and it will stick to their nails. So eventually that's what we ended up doing. We tried the recovery cones, we tried the hat, we tried the socks, we tried wrapping the paw in gauze. God knows what other we tried. It all failed. Then came in the nail caps, and that was the best solution. And we were actually a little bit hesitant to do it first time, because when you hear nail caps, it makes you think of something that's very medical, like a very heavy medical solution, something that you have to go to the vet for, or I don't know. But none of that. Eventually, we were so desperate that we decided to get them. And me and Mike said to each other, you know what, let's at least buy them, have them delivered to our home, and let's at least take a look at them, see how we feel when we have those nail caps in our hand, see how we feel. And then we looked up a couple of videos on YouTube, just to get an idea of what to expect or how to put it around on their nails. And you know what, guys, it was so easy. It was really God's solution for this one. It was so easy. Luna didn't feel anything. First you clip their nails, and then you slide those nail caps on those nails. That's it. You put a little bit of glue in the caps, you slide them on the nails, you hold them a little bit, give the glue the time to dry and stick to the nails. That's it. That's it. No cones around the neck, no hats, no gauze, no tightening of the paw, no killing of the blood circulation in the paw of your cat. None of that. Just put the nail caps on the nails, and then, I don't know, and look at your cat coming back to life. Not looking sad anymore, not making a depressed impression anymore. She can now continue with her life as she did before. She can climb, she can eat, she can go to the litter box, she can walk between the chairs. She doesn't have to bump from one wall to another while trying to move around the house. None of that. It's a completely different experience for her, and it's a huge relief for us. So Yeah, that's what you're looking at right now is the spot that we created for Luna, and Luna only to be able to have her food there because, like I said, Miko keeps stealing her food. And first, you can watch the video if you're interested on how we did this. You will also see Miko going at it as like a crazy cat, trying to break open that chip operated feeder that we have here, and it won't open for him because it's not meant for his chip, of course. So that drove him crazy, and you can see him in the video going at it like a crazy cat, trying to crack that thing. So we really had to do something, and that's what we came up with. That little hatch, microchip operated, so only Luna can go through it. Now imagine a cat trying to go through that with a cone around the neck. It's impossible. And these are those practicalities that came with this cone solution that the vet won't tell you about, because the vet is only interested in a solution for the particular thing that you came for. But they don't, and they're occupied. The next patient is in line, so they won't have enough space in their mind to think with you and to care about all the other stuff that will be involved once you put a cone around the neck of your cat. Luna loves to sit in front of the window like I'm showing you right now, but she couldn't. She would knock all the stuff over and all that. And of course, we did a lot of rearranging here in the living room where she's mainly, but other stuff you couldn't help, like now walking through chairs. It was a hell for her. Sometimes she wants to escape and she would just disappear through the chairs. She couldn't do that with the cone. The litter box, we have this litter box robot. If you're looking for a litter box and you have a few bucks to spend, get that one. She couldn't do that. She couldn't get in there with ease. This little hatch that leads to the balcony, couldn't do it, couldn't use it. So a lot of stuff. And guys, one last thing. Although the vet now gave us this special diet for Luna that she will have to be on for 6 weeks at least, just to eliminate the possibility that the allergy is caused by food. You have to do that for at least 6 weeks. And if the rash is gone away, then you know that the food was the problem. If the rash did not go away, then you're looking at a long way with your vet, God forbid. But when we're talking about food, it's not that we give them trash, it's not that we give them cheap food. Mike always made sure that he got the cat the best of the best. Only thing that we gave them that's cheap is the snacks, just because we have tried, and you guys that are watching the channel know, we've tried everything and anything. They kept rejecting it. So once we had this crazy idea to buy them cheap snacks, because junk food is always good, and they approved it, they liked it. So that's the only thing that we give them. A little bit of Whiskas that we have here in Europe, and chicken bites, dry chicken meat as snack, the only thing that they get. Other than that, they've always and still get the best food. We give them Royal Canin. Mike did some research the other day, and he actually found out the Royal Canin is very close to this special food that we now got from the vet. But it doesn't matter. We will follow the plan, and we will have Luna on her 6-week special food diet plan. We will do that because we do want to explore the options and eliminate the possibilities as much as possible. But while doing this, while putting your cat on a special diet, you will still have to do something on the scratching. The food is not going to help instantly. Gradually, if food is the problem, you will see that the rash is gradually getting better. But in the meantime, you will still have to work on how to prevent your cat from scratching. And for that, we say, yes, go to the vet. Yes, listen to your vet. Yes, have your vet examine your cat before anything else, before listening to advices on YouTube or in the internet. But if your vet is clueless as how to stop the scratching, then you will have to become creative and improvise. And you can do a hat. If that works for your cat, then more power to you. If that doesn't, and you're at the end of your rope, what you can do is give nail caps a chance. We're not sponsored. We're not running a nail caps business. We're just giving you something that we have benefited from. And Luna is happy. The itch spot, the wound that she created by itching, is now almost gone, thank to God. So at this point, we can only praise the nail caps, and it doesn't come with how do you say, limitations. It doesn't limit your cat movement or life in any way. Luna does now everything and anything that she normally would. One last thing that I want to say about the nail caps is that don't cover all the nails, only the nails that are necessary. So monitor your cat closely, find out which paw she's using to scratch with, and then which nails of that specific paw she's using to scratch with, and then cover only those nails. And that's what we did. In Luna's case, it means from all the nails that she have, we have only covered 3 nails with one of these nail caps. They're still on it. Don't worry about it. Look up some videos on YouTube on how to do it. You will discover that you can do it. If you are the cat owner that does also clipping of the nails of your cat, then you are the one that will be able to do this. You will have the heart for this, the concentration, and you will do this. You will be able to do it. And if I can do it, anyone can do it, really. If you have a cat that struggles too much, then maybe you need someone else to hold the cat down, or maybe you will find ways on how to hold your cat down. There is this Canadian vet that we follow on YouTube that says if you want to keep your cat calm while trying to do something to it, then push on its back a little bit. Just gently, but push on its back, and the cat will usually stay put. So you can try that, but just be very gentle. If not, if you have a cat that really struggles too much, then just try to be a little bit more firm in the way you grab your cat. But you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Perfect solution. Anything to add to this? No, I don't know. I generally think we shared everything that we have benefited from in this experience with you guys. We're doing this because we had to go through months of stress, didn't know what to do. So by doing this, by sharing this video, we hope we give you guys a little bit of a better head start than the one we had. And if your cat is sick, we hope they will recover soon. If they're not sick, then God forbid. And thank you so much for watching. If you know cat owners, please share this video with them. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If we have the answer, we will most certainly give you that answer. We'll read every comment. We appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, commenting, and sharing. And happy holidays. We're still in the holiday seasons from me and Mike and our cats, Luna and Miko. All right. Have a healthy life, have a happy life, and we'll see you guys in the next video. For now, bye-bye.